Hey everyone, Steve here. So I have this end table that I've been wanting to do something with, and I've been trying to figure out what I'm going to do with all the rocks that I have polished and how I'm going to use them all. So I decided to take this end table, I'll put a wood dam along the outside edge, and then we will fill it up with rocks, and then I will get a gallon or so of clear epoxy and pour it inside of there, and going to make a rock top epoxy table. We'll see what it looks like. So here's the glaze coat epoxy that I used for the table. Got it up at Home Depot. I think it was 75 bucks. And there was plenty in there to do that tabletop with a little bit left over. Just so you know, you do need to buy probably a 2.5 quart plastic bucket. They have that up there at Home Depot as well. And also 2 of the 1 quart plastic containers, because you have to put part A in one, part B in the other. Then you pour both of those into the 2.5 quart bucket, stir it, and then you pour that into another 2.5 quart bucket, stir it again, and then that's when you pour it onto your project. So all in, this stirring sticks, because it doesn't come with any stirring sticks, and 2 1 quart containers and 2 2.5 quart containers, and that should be all the material that you need, along with the epoxy release tape that I used to line the inside of that area with, so the epoxy doesn't leak through any cracks or anything that you might have. And then the 1/2 inch by 2 inch by 8 foot long stick of wood that I bought, cut it into lengths for your dam along the edges, and that's it. I'll show you the table. So I went ahead and framed out the table just using a 1/2 inch by 2 inch piece of wood that I bought up there at Home Depot, cut it to length. This one here happened to be about 16.5 inches each side, so I went ahead and boxed that off. And then I bought this specific tape off of Amazon that you can use with epoxy, because the epoxy will stick to the wood, but it won't stick to this tape. Very smooth tape. So you have to make sure you get it along the edges down in here in the corners with that tape, a slight overlap, or else that epoxy will flow like water and drip out of any gaps that you have in there. So everything's very well taped up, and we are ready to set our rocks. So I've got the rocks all set into place. There's a gap along the edges that I left. That way I don't have to worry about any rocks sticking out of the epoxy or right up next to the edge. So I'll go ahead and mix the epoxy up and pour it in. So here's the table, all nice and hard, and I did that yesterday afternoon. It really, after about 3 or 4 hours, it was hard to the touch already. I'll go ahead and leave this dam wood on here probably till Wednesday. I'm going to make sure it's good and cured before I take that off. And it turned out really good. There are a few bubbles in there. I think you can see maybe something right there. And there's a couple other ones here. As bubbles start to come to the surface from down below, you can take a lighter and just hold the flame over those bubbles and it'll pop them. But it gets to a point where this is too hard to do that with. And then whatever bubbles come up, just come up. You can see I got a little string right there of bubbles. Nothing I could do about that. Same thing right here, there's one. Because it got to the point where it was too hard for the flame to pop the bubble. So anyway, that's the tabletop. And here on Wednesday, I'll pull these off, and then I'll shoot another video to see what the edge of the epoxy looks like. I'm sure it'll turn out pretty cool though.